Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. In raising funding, the startup will meet with many investors to answer their questions. So how should the startup answer the investor's question? First, listen to the question and answer it direct and to the point. The question requires a number, then give that number. For example, if the investor asks how much revenue do you have, then answer with, we have $200K of revenue so far this year, or we have $10K of monthly recurring revenue. Be careful with answering every question with a story, as this takes time and often misses the key information. The investor wants to hear the backstory for a particular question they will ask. For example, that sounds interesting. Tell me how you arrived at that model. The investor often has a list of questions to go through in a limited amount of time. Not responding with direct and to the point answers lengthens the process. Also, some investors may interpret the long and winding response as avoiding the answer, which raises a red flag. It's best to be straight up. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start up something today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.